Here we have a scale model of the Boulder City water filtration plant, built in 1931 and put into service in 1932 at a cost of $95,000. This is the main entrance that you go into today. Right now there is a paved drive here, community gardens here, and then out back is the Reflections Center. This portion of the building has 4 sand filters, even today, very deep, very wide filters that the water would be purified with. And this large tower that you see there holds a 5,000 gallon freshwater tank that's used to backflush those sand filters. And I think one of the more interesting areas of the building is this loading dock area, which doesn't get a lot of attention today. This rail line would be on what is now Railroad Avenue. The building itself sits at 300 Railroad Avenue in Boulder City if you want to go see it. But this would be a real hub of activity during the operation of the building, where chemicals would come in on the rail line and then go into this loading dock area. That would include lime, soda ash, chlorine, activated carbon, copper sulfate, other chemicals used in the filtration process. So this is the steam era, so we have a 4442 switcher, Union Pacific switcher, not a full-sized locomotive, but a small switcher used just enough for hauling some ore carts, hoppers up here to the plant. And as you come around to the back side of the building near Reflection Center, you see these large cement structures. These are Clarifier basins or flocculation tanks, and you can see the sediment at the bottom of these tanks. This was the first part of the filtration process where river water would go up into these tanks. They are 45 feet in diameter, holding 225,000 gallons apiece. And lime and soda ash is agitated into this water and then left to sit for 2.5 hours in detention. During that time, the flocculation process occurs. Microscopic particles sink to the bottom and become sediment. So you see the sediment at the bottom, and door traction rakes will rake that into the center where these pipes are, and then that sludge is then pumped out to a decant basin over on the right-hand side, where it would air dry and then be shoveled out and hauled away on trucks or rail cars. You also see these large carriages on these tanks. These will turn 360 degrees, and they would be used to monitor the tank and to skim sediment that had risen to the top. You notice little rails along the top outside, and then the wheels which allow them to turn with motors. After the water went through this clarifying stage, it would then go into a carbonization process in the bottom of this building, where the pH level would return to balance because the lime had made the water so caustic. And so that is at the bottom of this portion. Now this building here was an add-on, not originally part of the $95,000 to build. You see in the original photographs from the 1932 that there are door traction motors and linkage and mechanisms here right on the cement. So this building was evidently put in place to cover up all of that equipment and to take it out of the weather. And then as we turn around again to the front of the building, there is one other feature I'll draw your attention to, and that is this small 5-6 foot diameter clear well. And as the water came out of the 4 sand filters, it would go into this clear well where it was injected with chlorine to kill bacteria and copper sulfate to kill algae. And then it was pumped up to the 2 million gallon tank at the top of the hill for use by citizens. So this plant produced processed about 18 million gallons per month. There were 5,000 citizens in 1932 and during the construction of the dam. So it produced just enough water for those citizens, and of course went on for many decades afterward. And served Boulder City for a long, long time. It is now a nice historical building that is a treasure to Boulder City. So you can go out here to Railroad Avenue and walk around this building and actually see it. But this is a nice little scale model of what it might have looked like in the mid-1930s. So the Boulder City water filtration plant, hope you like it.